Let me talk to you.
Deuce and Mo, Deuce and Mo, they tell you what they know.
Do it for Deuce and Mo, Deuce and Mo, hey. Do it for Deuce and Mo. When it comes to the Kings, it's my favorite show. Do it for Deuce and Mo. Deuce and Mo. Hey. Do it for Deuce and Mo. When it comes to the Kings. Big hopes and dreams as we cover our kings. Never cover the kingdom, but we loving our kings. And we covered your prayers as we doing our thing. Big Deuce with the par, Lil Mo on the screen. Solo or together, still do it for team. Never switch up for $1 or revenue stream. So we always got each other, balance out the beam. Deuce and Mo, and that's the end of the theme song. Do it for Deuce and Mo. Deuce and Mo. Come to the Kings, that's my favorite show.
The Sacramento Kings are red hot. They've won 6 in a row. I thought the offense wasn't the same. Nah. The Kings are alive.
What up, Deuce? Hey, Morgan.
Hi.
I'm rooting for y'all.
Yeah, what about those Kings?
Let's go, Kings.
Oh, appreciate you guys being live with us on a Sunday night after the Sacramento Kings keep it rolling.
Yeah,
All I heard was a dynamic duo of Luka and Kyrie, but tonight the NBA world should be focused on the duo that is sweeping the NBA universe, and that is De'Aaron Fox and Sabonis! Woo!
Dun 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 dun.
I don't need music because the music is the fog. The sounds of the fog coming from this machine. Yes. It's also the sound that a snake makes. A particular snake called a boa constrictor.
You already did
and
this.
Tonight, the Sacramento Kings were a boa constrictor slowly working their way around the necks of the Dallas Mavericks and sucking the life out of them one possession at a time by pushing the pace, playing physical, getting stops. De'Aaron Fox hitting threes in your face. Not a person on the Mavs roster could defend him. They threw doubles. Didn't matter. He was going to make him pay. You leave him open from 3. He bangs 6 in your face. Burn. Tied for a career high. And Sabonis. Who's stopping him? I don't want to hear it anymore. These NBA pundits nationally, Morgan Reagan, all I hear is, Fox and Sabonis are fine. They won't be all-stars again. They won't do this. They're playing like 2 of the best players in the NBA, and the Kings are rolling in the NBA's Western Conference. If you are an NBA fan on the East Coast and you're not a Kings fan, you need to start going to bed earlier, maybe set an alarm for 10:30 when games tip off, and be locked into what the Sacramento Kings are doing right now, because this team, they were good last year. This team is better. How you doing on this Sunday night? How you doing, Morgan?
Nope.
Let's go.
Remember physical? Nope.
Let's go.
Nope. I'm good. You seem great. You know what, though? You know what? I feel like, and I get it, you and a lot of other people keep bringing up, like, all the people that are sleeping. I sleep. Like, and it's going to be so cute when you jump on when you're like, wow, the narrative is going this way and everyone else is doing it. It's a cool thing to do. Well, guess what? You're still a loser for jumping on late. Let them lose.
If you're going to sleep and not watch games, keep a binky in your mouth and shut up and don't talk about this team.
Whoa!
No, I don't need to hear it. I don't want you dropping hot takes if you're not watching the games. Because turn on the games. Mouth. De'Aaron Fox
Shut up.
Is a top 10 player in the NBA right
Facts.
now. It is. It's
Facts.
True. It's true.
You can't stop him. You can't. All right.
I'm just fired up because
I know,
this
we're
is
so
fun.
petty and gross right now.
Here's the reality. This Kings team, I think, may be a little biased. But I think this Kings team is one of the most fun teams in the NBA to watch. There's so much to talk about. How are we doing?
I don't think that's unfair to say either. And I think because we watch enough full games of basketball around the NBA, that saying that we actually have something to back it up, being like, wow, there's something a little different about this team. It is a fun team to watch.
De'Aaron Fox, man. I mean, you could just put last podcast and put my same thoughts out there.
There you go.
This guy is unbelievable right
Fantastic.
now. Sabonis.
Walking
My
double
God.
double.
If you have not yet done it yet, before we start this podcast, hit the thumbs up. Make sure you're subscribed. All it does is help our channel grow. Make sure you vote in the poll question too. Let's do a little roll call. It's been a minute since I gave some love to the people watching us live. It's a Sunday night. You could be doing anything. It's Thanksgiving week coming up here, right? Mm-hmm. People are maybe off work or they're kind of whatever this week. So appreciate you being here. Shout out to Insane Cookies, Amar. We got Kylan, Jabari, and Brad. The unstoppable Tissy Flip is in the building. And shout out to Biggity Blake, who donated $20 saying, "Don't wake me. I'm dreaming."
Ooh.
Appreciate PK Man for noticing I'm happy. What's up, Jess? King Louie. Someone was mentioning that podcast Deuce is a little different than broadcast Deuce.
Almost the same, though. They both had the boa constrictor thing going on. I'm going to get that clip, and I'm going to put that clip next to the podcast clip and see how identical it actually is. There's just a little bit more drama in the podcast one.
Yeah. 916 says, very anticlimactic fog without the music. You know what? Next time they win, I'll bring out the music.
Okay.
Too. We had to switch out mixers. I'm being a little tentative with some of the things I'm doing right now.
As long as
I appreciate you guys.
Show's been going. We've been getting wins. We're good.
Deuce has the suit on, still has the suit on from the show. Yeah, I do, Lehigh. Look, do you want me to take off this suit? Like, to me, it's like, I look so good in it. I should just leave it on for the pod. My God. What's up, Andrew from Australia? Appreciate that. Graphic is wrong for the bottom. Kings have not won 8 in a row. Did I put in there 8 in a row? I'm sorry, find the lie. Because Deuce Mason.
Yeah.
Deuce Mason's not.
This is future Deuce Mason.
No. Deuce Mason's not offering a prediction.
Oh.
Deuce Mason is obviously giving you a spoiler. And so I apologize for all those who haven't seen the game yet. Yes, the Kings just won 2 in a row.
Pelicans.
It is now Wednesday. How about that win over the Pelicans? Now, big in-season tournament game against Minnesota. Appreciate you guys. You know, that's my fault. You know.
Oh my God.
Can I be honest about this?
Yeah. What?
I made that lower third in the middle of a break during TV.
Deuce, haste makes waste. Look what it created.
I know. Hey, Carlin.
Oh my God.
What are you doing, Carlin? Come here.
That dog's gonna be in. Oh God. Oh, your cute little face.
All right, buddy.
Okay.
Chill,
bro.
All right. Appreciate everyone with the heads up on the lower third. Yes, the Kings have won 6 in a row, not 8 in a row. Just putting it out there. All right. Morgan, if you're good to go, I'm good to go.
I'm good to go.
You sure?
Yeah.
All right. Deuce and Mo coming down. 3, 2, 1. Hit my music.
Deuce and Mo. Deuce and Mo. Deuce and Mo. They tell you what they know. Deuce and Mo. Deuce and Mo. Deuce and Mo. The podcast that you know.
Hey, welcome into the Deuce and Mo podcast, recording this on a Sunday night. And the Kings are one of the hottest teams in the NBA. De'Aaron Fox is playing like an MVP. Sabonis is saying, knock, knock, what about me? Maybe they can wear a co-MVP belt, huh? The tag team MVP belts, because both guys are red hot, and the Kings had a great team effort tonight. A bit shorthanded. No Kevin Huerter, but the Kings made Dallas pay. The Mavs on the second night have a back-to-back, and their tank was on empty at the end of the third quarter because the Kings played with pace. What? Played with physicality.
What?
And they got the job done. De'Aaron Fox with another monster game. He had a career-high 6 3-pointers in this game. And Sabonis, a nasty 30-point double-double. I messed up that whole intro.
And
I'm gonna do it again.
De'Aaron Fox,
Yeah?
it was tied for his career high 6.
It's still mad. It's his career high.
Why are you
Hit my music.
Oh,
And Mo. Deuce and Mo. Deuce and Mo. They tell you what they know. Deuce and Mo. Deuce and Mo. Deuce and Mo. The podcast that you know.
Hey, welcome into the Deuce and Mo podcast, recording this on a Sunday night, as the Sacramento Kings are now the hottest team in the NBA. They've won 6 in a row, and the road trip continues That means more wins for the Kings. They go to Dallas tonight, beating the Mavs 129-113. They had one mission tonight, push the pace and play physical. They did both those things, and Sacramento got big nights from Domantas Sabonis. He had 32 points, 13 rebounds, 6 dimes. De'Aaron knocked down 6 3-pointers to match his career high, and another 30-point game, and he was a dog defensively. The Kings were shorthanded without Kevin Huerter, but Chris Duarte provided a bit of a spark with Sacramento coming off the bench and into the starting lineup with 13 points and 8 rebounds. And the Kings have now won 6 in a row. They're now 8-4 on the season. So much to go over. And each and every one of our podcasts presented by our friends over at Northwest Exteriors.
Trust. I was going to sing with you.
I was going to go to their website.
Go to their website.
Northwestexteriors.com.
Woo!
I'm Deuce. That's Mo. How you doing?
Whoa, I'm good. Nervous of your energy, kind of love your energy, but you know.
Is it too much?
No, it's not too much, but I'm afraid if like I screw up, like attack mode. Ah!
Oh, I'm feeling good.
Oh, good.
Morgan,
Yeah.
12 games into the NBA season for the Kings.
Yeah, it is.
This is my favorite win.
Why?
Because they did exactly what they needed to do tonight. This Dallas Mavericks team played last night in Milwaukee, lost at the end. They had to fly back to Dallas. The Kings needed to push the pace. And I heard that Dallas is pushing the pace now. I heard that. And
They were.
they are. This is Sacramento Kings pace versus Dallas Mavericks pace. The Kings want to run, and everybody wants to run all the time. Luka doesn't want to run all the time.
He doesn't have the condition.
And I think the biggest thing for me tonight was the start of the game. The Kings got crushed on the glass. Absolutely destroyed. They had 0 second chance points, 0 offensive rebounds. Dallas was getting second chance points. They were putting up points. At the end of the first, Dallas was up 36-35. And it just felt like Sacramento was not going to be able to survive if they did not improve the rebounding. It was 13-6 in the quarter.
Yes.
After that, the Kings put it to another level. They got in some early foul trouble, a lot of whistles in that first quarter.
Yeah.
They fought through it, kept playing physical, and got the job done tonight.
Yeah, and I love the way that they responded to whatever the Dallas Mavericks and the officiating was going to throw at them. And I say that, and I don't think the officials were awful or anything in that first quarter, blowing a lot of those whistles. I just thought that they were, a lot of them being blown for Luka on such small physical plays. I was like, oh no, is this the type of rhythm of the game that we're going to have, right? Like that can alter an entire game, but it didn't last long. Kings turned it around. They kept their head in the game and they started grabbing offensive rebounds. They started getting those second chance opportunities. And then it felt like that bled into the rest of the game. What did they end up finishing with?
22 second chance points. 22 second chance points.
Love it.
Their final rebounding was 48-40 in favor of Sacramento. I loved how they played tonight. And it wasn't going to be easy. There were times that the Kings looked a little tired too, but Brown kept imploring them to run. This Dallas team has been red hot from 3 this year. They picked up the pace. They're doing some nice things for sure as a team. But Sacramento is used to running now, and they're also used to being physical and playing some defense this year. This defense is so much better than it was last year.
Oh my God.
They did allow 65 points in the first half.
Yeah.
But I felt like as the game went on, they got better and better. And they held them in check in that second half.
They allowed 65 points in the first half against one of the best dynamic duos in the league, Luka and Kyrie, right? A dynamic duo that you talk about that when you talk about, you're talking about their offense. I mean, that is what you're talking about, them as shot creators, as people that can create for their teammates, as being such threats on that end of the floor. And it seemed like at times with Luka going to the free throw line, stopping the clock, taking everyone out of their rhythm, making those free throws, it was going to be a rough one. But the Kings, I thought their defense just really stepped up, especially in that third quarter. You had a stat about what the Mavs are used to doing in the third quarter with their ability to score. Kings did a great job of slowing them down and taking care of business in that second half.
The Mavs still scored 31 points in that quarter, but Sacramento dropped 37. And I thought the big difference was Sacramento is like, we make other guys beat us. We're not going to let Kyrie and Luka do it because We saw them combine for 74 points last night in Milwaukee. You know what they can do? I'm going to force Josh Green to shoot some threes. I'm going to force Derek Jones Jr. to shoot a three. If he makes it, we kind of live with it. We're at least going to try to contest it.
Sure.
And Sacramento did have some breakdowns with the adjustment. I love that they made is, all right, this is going to be hard for us, and we wouldn't have been able to pull this shit off last year. We're going to throw another guy on them to get the ball in their hands.
The double.
And it wasn't the same one every time.
Yeah.
These players are smart. Luka is such a smart player. Same with Kyrie. They pick up on where these doubles are coming, the timing of it. Sacramento was throwing it in different ways. Credit Sabonis for coming out and being in that situation. And that exposes the Kings, right? So everybody's got to be connected and on a string. And for the most part, they were tonight. And I thought that changed the game.
You're exactly. I mean, there were breakdowns. There were moments where it's like Tim Hardaway Jr. The ball was swung around. The double was thrown at Luka. He would have an overhead cross court pass because he's such a magical passer and his vision is just incredible. And he's capable of making that pass. And it would get somewhere, it'd swing around. Tim Hardaway Jr. Boom. Three. And it seemed like other guys were knocking down threes for a little bit there for Dallas. They ended up finishing only 35% from beyond the arc, but still there were some killer ones, and especially when the Kings were throwing that double. But it seemed like as time kept going, it started to work, and it's like they weren't making those threes, and that's what you wanted to see from this Dallas offense, is being like, okay, we're almost throwing in the white flag. It felt like that effort had left. It felt like
they were running out of gas because the Kings were really making them work.
Yes.
Dallas came into this game.
Yeah.
One of the best 3-point shooting teams in the NBA. They're number 1 in makes.
Oh.
They're number 2 in attempts. Number 3 in percentage. Tonight, Dallas took 34. They made 12.
Yeah.
35% from 3 in this game. So the Kings did a really good job making sure they weren't getting killed from 3. I thought the effort was tremendous. I mean, even seeing Fox at times just really being aggressive on ball, going for steals, getting deflections. This was a locked-in game. And I actually love the fact that we have not spent a minute talking about the offense yet, because tonight was about, can you rebound, okay, and play some defense. The offense is going to be good this year. Not worried about it. Not worried about it. Rebound, multiple efforts defensively, play with physicality, and you're going to give yourself a chance to win every single night. The way the Kings played on defense and then pushing the pace, the Mavs were exhausted on the second night of a back-to-back. I loved everything about this win for the Kings. It was their best win of the season.
Wow. And I know you keep saying that, and I love that you feel that way in so many different ways. Like, I don't know if I'm right there with you with saying like their best win of the season, but all the things that you're talking about factoring in to be their best win makes a lot of sense because of how they needed to do what they were supposed to do. And that was making sure that the Dallas Mavericks on a second night of a back-to-back were going to feel it. And they felt it. And this is one of those games too where coming in, I'm like, ooh, a little nervous. Or, you saw Dallas lose their lead last night. They ended up falling to the Milwaukee Bucks, and then they're coming back on their home floor. I know there's so many different angles and ways you can go about coming back on your home floor. People are always like, that first one back on your home floor is always weird, trying to get readjusted at your home, whatever. And I didn't notice any of that. I thought Dallas came out with a great effort. They came out physical, aggressive. You saw Tim Hardaway Jr. With the little whatever closed fists into JaVale McGee's chest area when they're both flying to the ground, things getting chippy, they get double teased. Like, it had all of those things. The shot making ability from both teams early on, I was like, there's some sexy basketball going on. This is fun. But it was how the Kings closed out right after halftime. So in that third quarter and then the fourth quarter, really sticking it to them.
I thought the key too was really the final stretch of the third quarter tonight for Sacramento, because De'Aaron Fox left the game. He subbed out, and where was this? At 2:37, and it was still a close game at that point. And Monk came in and hit a couple of big time threes.
Oh my God, yes.
To really put the Kings in control of the game at the end of the third. They were up 107-96. Monk had 9 points in the quarter. Fox had 12 points. But I'm just we, I think, weren't sure how good the Kings defense, what the ceiling was for this team defensively. And I think most people looked at it and went, man, they didn't make a crazy amount of moves to improve the defense.
Sure.
But with Fox stepping up defensively, Sabonis, Keegan, and just the effort all the way around, you're seeing the makings of a solid team defensive unit. This was a team that was awful defensively last year for the most part. 24th in defensive rating, really bad at home, good on the road, but it's just inconsistent. This is the most consistent we're seeing. And it's not just like, oh, teams are missing shots. Sometimes you see that where you play a team and it's like, they're just having one of those nights. I just think that compete. Mike Brown has preached it. The guys have bought in. And sometimes that's hard to buy in. It's hard to be like, play defense when the shot's not falling, when you're losing games early in the season. And it's like, well, last year we had the best offensive rating in history. And now we're so focused on defense and now we're losing games. That could be a challenge to maneuver through everything.
It's also really hard sometimes to buy in defensively like that when you're asked to do so much on the offensive end. What this King squad is supposed to do with all of their sets and all the actions they run off these sets, there's a lot of movement. There is a lot of conditioning that needs to be up to par. And I feel like everyone, for the most part, understood what they needed to do. They understood the assignment and they accepted it. They're buying in. And really, I think why they're buying in too, because they're going, oh, we're not going to see minutes if we're not doing what we need to do on the defensive end this year. The standards are a little different for Mike Brown. It isn't like, hey guys, like let's win the game with a historic offense. It's, oh no, let's get better as a team on both ends of the floor or you're not going to play.
It's the accountability.
Yes.
The final buzzer went off tonight. And I don't know if you noticed this. Mike Brown was pulling Jalen Slauson aside, the rookie who came in for the stretch run. He played 3 minutes and 56 seconds, okay? He came in for that. And that buzzer went off. Mike Brown immediately went up to him and was pointing something out. Yep. It's that type of accountability. And you have to have the buy-in from the players too. No shit. But it's been cool to see this come together. And I tell Morin, this is a special team. I really believe that. I think, I'm not saying like all of a sudden I'm putting them in a championship contender category yet. Obviously, I need to see more consistency in doing this, playing this type of level. Fox and Sabonis have been out of this world. But I'm seeing a group of individuals who buy in, selfless. I watch the Mavs, I see something different, okay? Yeah. And it's two guys that are gifted offensively, a lot of ISO ball, and it's kind of ugly. With the Kings, I see sacrifice. I see everybody getting in on the action. I see team basketball that is just pleasing to the eyes. The Kings are building something special.
Pleasing to the eyes. It brings joy to an entire team, to a culture and everything else. And just speaking of the defense, I think talking about Keegan Murray tonight is the right thing to do because we talked to him after the game and, sometimes with him, what I love is that he recognizes and is very self-aware of what he's doing on the floor on the offensive end, but he also knows what he's capable of doing on the defensive end. And Deuce ended up asking him a question about his defense.
Well, this is the whole clip, if that's
okay. Is it?
Yeah,
okay.
It's not just that. All right, here's Keegan Murray with us after the game on NBC Sports California.
Oh, Keegan
Murray.
Yes, he is standing courtside right now. Keegan, thanks for joining us. Excited to have you after another big win. You guys really closed that game big, especially in the fourth, and now 6 straight for you guys. How were you able to get it done?
I feel like it was just a collective effort, offensively and defensively. I feel like we kind of put it together at the right times and just stuck with it and end up getting the win.
Keegan, your defense this year has gone to another level, and it's not like, oh, it's just improved. You look like you have the chance to be an elite defender in this game. What's been different? How are you able to improve defensively this season?
Yeah, I just have to step up on that end. Offensively, I'm not even close to where I want to be at, so I just want to step up on that end as much as I can and guard the best guys so other guys can be good on offense and have their way on offense, and I feel like I'm the guy to do that.
You guys have had such a strong starting unit. What was it like playing without Kevin Huerter tonight? You guys were still able to get it done.
Yeah, I mean, we just try to step up. He's a guy that's obviously been playing really well these last 3 games, and it's a void that we had to fill. I feel like Duarte did really well, rebounding the ball, making shots, and stepping up in his absence. So kudos to him for stepping up.
Well, Keegan, great game out there tonight. Get back at it against New Orleans tomorrow. Appreciate you.
Yeah, thank you.
There's Keegan Murray with us after the game. A couple of things that jump out. His last point about Duarte, want to give that some love for a second because Duarte hasn't really been good. He's come in and been picking up fouls really fast.
Chaotic.
It looks like he's just rushed offensively. Yeah. And we were talking about it pregame. I'm like, he just needs to play in control. Mm-hmm. I know he's a good defender. Just try to defend without fouling. Be physical without fouling. There's a fine line, especially when you're tasked with going out there and trying to defend someone like Kyrie Irving. But he went out there. He did a good job. And then offensively, just be patient. You don't have to rush everything. He got some open looks from 3. Got a little mid-range shot in there. I was really pleased with what he brought for Sacramento.
Yeah, even that mid-range shot that you bring up, there was a lot more patience to it, right? He recognized it. He was going, it didn't look like he was going at first to be this threat to the basket. And then as soon as he noticed it, he made a quick decision. It was like, boom, stop, pop, jump shot. And I felt like there was a lot more of those moments. I felt like even defensively, he was trying to bounce back and not be as handsy and was trying to use his chest more. I know that he almost got that second foul when the officiating crew was calling that foul on him when he reached in against Luka. It ended up being a jump ball after Mike Brown challenged it, which I love because I didn't want to see him get that in his head. He seems like a guy that can kind of play off his emotions as well. Like you can see him wear it on his face sometimes. So I'm glad that was challenged. Mike Brown sticking up for him, sticking up for the rest of the team, being like, yo, we need this game to be at a different pace, to have a different rhythm to it. And that helped as well.
I also love that Keegan Murray, I feel like, is really understanding that, hey, if I go out there and play defense, I'm going to be on the floor. Mike Brown's going to keep me on the floor.
Yes.
Last year when he'd make a mistake or something, Brown was quick to pull him. And, I think it would get into Keegan's head a little bit. Maybe he'd struggle offensively. He's still not knocking down the 3 like he did last year. But even when you talked to him after the game, it didn't seem like he was chirping about it. He ends up tonight with 17 points. He had 4 assists. He also had 3 rebounds and a steal on 7 of 13 shooting. Had some nice attacks at the basket, especially in that third quarter. Hit a couple of threes. He was 2 of 7 from 3. But I do love his perspective. It's like, I'm not going to worry about the offense. That's going to come. I'm going to try to make life easier for the other guys out there.
Yeah. Yeah. And I love that he's bringing that energy, that mentality, and recognizing that a little more. I thought there could have been a few more plays out there offensively where he could have been more of a threat, was looking to be passive, was looking to be he needed to be a little bit more selfish and try and get his, because when he's trying to get his, he can get his, and he can get his at an efficient level. And when I'm saying getting his, I'm not talking about just trying to jack up a whole bunch of threes. I'm talking about taking it to the rack and finding a way to either get a floater, throw it down at the rim, or maybe even look for a midi. Either way, Keegan Murray with the ball in his hands on the offensive end is a good thing, and it will just get better and better.
Flatline in the chat mentions this, that his 3 rebounds too, they were all offensive rebounds, which were pretty significant for Sacramento. So that was a good sign. Shout out to Flatline for mentioning that. All right, so the order of this show has been funny because we've mentioned the defense. We mentioned them pushing the pace and the physicality and how they defended Luka and Kyrie.
Yeah.
We still haven't focused on De'Aaron Fox and Domantas Sabonis yet.
Well, I'm ready when you are. Fog machine, go!
De'Aaron Fox, man.
He's incredible. He is absolutely incredible.
Dallas has no one that could guard him. They tried to get the ball out of his hands. Fox, took him a second to adjust with it. He had a quiet second quarter. And then in the third quarter, he took over. Fox ends up with 30 points, 10 of 20 shooting. He was 6 of 10 from 3. Those 6 3-pointers match his career high. And we should also know he had 5 last game. He was 4 or 5 from the free throw line. He had 7 assists. He had 4 rebounds, 3 steals. My favorite stat, 0 turnovers for De'Aaron Fox.
Oh my God.
What jumped out? Where do you want to start with his game?
Let's start on the offense, Ben.
Okay.
Let's start with his 3-pointers. And that alone, when he was catching fire, I believe he hit 3 in a row.
He went for that heat check 4.
Yes.
Missed it. But
And not only did he miss it, we could tell by that point. I think Keon Ellis was about to check in for him soon. And you could just tell like his legs were feeling heavy. He was looking a little bit slower out there. He needed a quick breather. And it was like on that heat check one, you could just tell it was a little short. But still, the way that he was shooting from beyond the arc with so much confidence, step back or the ball would go and get swung to him, whatever it was. It's like he was always in rhythm. And sometimes that's tough to see when a guy isn't identified as a shooter. It's like, oh, that one was good because he was squared up. Oh, that one was good because he was in his spot. He loves the left side, whatever. With De'Aaron, it was like you could have passed it to him wherever from 3-point land, and you could just tell he was just feeling good with the way that his body was. It was all just in this beautiful motion, just pure confidence.
he is now, after tonight, he's played 7 games in total.
Okay.
He is shooting 41.7% from 3. And he's doing it on 8.6 attempts. He's shooting just under 51% from the field. He's averaging 32 points, 6 assists, 4.6 rebounds, just under 2 steals a game for De'Aaron Fox. Yeah, I think the offense, I don't know what you do as a defense if De'Aaron Fox is hitting threes. Because if you start running him off the line, which he's not at that point, you know.
Good luck.
What do you do?
Yep.
You know, if he's hitting step back threes, if he's just hitting threes in general, what that does just for the Kings offense, it's insane. He is such a difficult guard because, yeah, of course he can blow by you, but it's also the change of speed, slowing you down.
There we go.
He'll play physical. Now, I've seen him finish with the right more this year than I've ever seen him. You know, sometimes teams will try to force him a different way. It's like, no, I'll go ahead and go right.
I don't care if it's Victor Wembanyama, Derek Lively, or another shot blocker you got down there. I am going to get physical, go through or into their chest, and find a way to get that ball up. His ability to find a way to score in the paint and around the rim is what has been mind-blowing to me this year. I'm like, this is some sort of freaking magic that we are witnessing. Like there's times where I'm like, there's no way, but there always is a way with him because it's just like you said, his skill set, his ability to be one of the fastest guys out there, but then to also be one of the stronger guards out there and to also be able to get up in the air and to stay up in the air. He's so athletic, and then he can stay square, do what he needs to do, take the contact, finish the shot.
Mike Brown wanted him to be more physical defensively. He's being more physical on both ends. He's embraced that. And Mike Brown talked about him after the game tonight in Dallas.
Fox did his job. I've said it before. He did what he's supposed to. This is what he's supposed to do. He's worked really hard on his 3-point shooting. I'm happy because it's starting to show a little bit to everybody. His work in the all season starting to show. And so I'm excited about that. But he did his job. He's a two-way player. He guarded multiple guys tonight. He guarded Kyrie, he guarded Luka a little bit, guarded off the ball, and he was phenomenal. But that's who he's supposed to be. And, we need to get that every single night from Fox for 48 minutes. And that's his mindset. And once he's there, now he's MVP. Because nobody can frickin' mess with that man. He's that talented. Believe that.
Believe that.
Mike Brown's been saying that since he got the job. He's challenged De'Aaron to get better, and De'Aaron, to his credit, has embraced it.
Yeah.
And he's gotten better. Last year, De'Aaron Fox was good. He's a really good player. He was an all-star. Remember, he was an injury replacement, but still an all-star.
Yeah.
He became an all-NBA guy. In the playoffs, he looked pretty damn good, then had the injury. This year, he's come out even better. If you're all-NBA to me, that means you're top 15.
Yeah.
Okay. He was third team, top 15 player in this league. He's playing like one of the best players in the league. I was actually talking to a friend who works in the league, and I was texting him like, De'Aaron Fox is playing like a top 5 guy right now. I said, come on. You're serious? I'm like, you got to watch. And there's, like you said before the podcast, Morgan, people are going to be late and stuff, but I'm telling you, his mentality is just different. The numbers are one thing. Like, he's the 32. Awesome. I'm just talking about how he's playing. The force. He is in this attack mode on both ends.
Not only that.
Well, Mike Brown's talking to him, getting into Kyrie or to Luka, wherever he's defending. He is playing with that edge.
Deuce, not only that. Your best player is diving on the floor, sacrificing his body just to get the loose ball, just to make that extra effort. I mean, if your best player is willing to do that, you're all going to do that. You're all going to want to do that. How does that not create such a great culture? And it's because it's like you just said, since the beginning of Mike Brown. He is bought in from the beginning of Mike Brown. Mike Brown has believed and seen this in De'Aaron since the beginning. And I think for so many years with us, since we've seen him since his beginning, we've been covering him since the beginning of his NBA career. I remember there came a point closer into the Tyrese time, I was like, I just don't know if he's supposed to be a number 1 guy in this league, but I know he has more. I didn't know he could do what, or he was ever going to do what he's doing right now. I knew he was going to get better and better. I didn't know that we were going to see this type of leap from that point to this point, just like that. And we always talk about it with other guys in this league. It took Kawhi Leonard until year 5 to really become Kawhi Leonard, right? And it's just so cool when you see it happening right in front of your eyes. But you're so right about like the rest of the league, and when people aren't watching, it's like you're watching a cute few highlights or even a stat line, and you're seeing like, oh yeah, every guy that's supposed to get 40 or 30 or whatever is getting 30 or 40. It's how he's getting 34 or 40, and it's how he's being a two-way guy on the goddamn floor. It's the funnest thing that we get to watch right now.
Mike Brown's made a point just as a team, like, it's hard to take the jump from good to great. It's easy to go from to good,
sure,
but to take that next jump.
Yeah.
De'Aaron Fox is taking the jump.
Yeah.
De'Aaron Fox is a great player in the league right now. He is. And even if the shooting numbers go down a little bit, I'm talking about the mentality.
Mm-hmm.
I'm talking about his approach. I love how he's playing right now. And if I'm a Kings fan, I'm beyond thrilled. It's like, all right, like it's the rest of everyone else kind of, sleep on him or whatever. I think he's criminally underrated. I don't think he gets talked enough about, whether it's fans or in the media, like he is one of the top guards in the league. And he is. He truly is.
He is. And I think there's these little things that keep happening. Like, signing with Steph Curry, right? Like, I think it's like the one of the best players in the game is seeing something. And it's not just seeing something in his ability to play the game, but it's also seeing something in him as a human being too. I think whatever jump has taken with his maturity on and off the floor has just benefited him in all aspects of life. And it's just so cool that we're seeing this now and that it's translating into wins. 6 straight, baby. It's translating into wins. It's translating into a good culture. And it's so fun to see all the other pieces around him right now.
Yeah. I'm in awe of how he's played this year and the difference it is when he's on the floor. Sacramento scored 129 points tonight. Last game, they scored 129 against San Antonio. The game before that, 125 points. The offense is just beyond explosive. And now, improving defensively. Good night.
Good night.
Did you have something you wanted to bring up?
Yeah, well, because I was ready to move on to the walking double-double.
Domantas Sabonis. Another guy, and I'm not trying to make this into like, hey, people are sleeping in it, but I'm just...
You don't have to say that. You don't have to say that because I feel like every time that you say that too, you said like the last couple of podcasts, you've also been like, hey, I know we're talking a lot about a lot of good things and like...
That's not what I was going to say.
I know what you're going to say. You're going to say people are sleeping on him too. And I'm just bringing up the topics that you've brought up the last couple podcasts. Okay. It's people sleeping on this team, Domas and De'Aaron. It's people not what was the other point I was bringing up? Was the people sleeping, and then God damn it, what was the other thing?
Just saying all the good things.
Oh yeah, it was saying all the good. You're like, I know we're talking about a lot of good things happening on the basketball floor right now. Don't worry, we'll point out their flaws. And it was like missed free throws or their turnovers or something. It's Deuce. We're seeing for the most part with this King squad these last couple of games really good, solid basketball games out there, except maybe the way that they're starting the first quarter. You know?
Sure.
So go on about people sleeping about Domas.
Domantas Sabonis is just an absolute stud. And, there have been some people we know, like KOC, who's like, he's just, it's a regular season.
Sleep, KOC!
Domantas Sabonis in this game had 32 points, 13 rebounds, 6 assists. He did it on 13 of 15 shooting, Morgan. He was 0 for 2 from 3. So the only misses he had were from 3 tonight.
My God.
His last 5 games, I mentioned tonight, 32, 13, and 6. Against San Antonio, he had 27, 14, and 7. Against the Lakers, he had 29, 16, and 7. Against the Cavs, he had 23, 10 assists, 9 rebounds. And against OKC, he had 17 points, 13 rebounds, and 13 assists.
Huh.
He's on an unbelievable tear right now.
My God.
He's averaging over 20 points a game on the season, just under 21 points, 13 rebounds, and 7.2 assists. He's shooting 63%, 37.5% from 3. He's been fantastic. And those are just numbers, okay? That's just raw numbers. What he's done defensively, even tonight, there was a drive where I think he had to help on Kyrie. He did a great job of getting up and staying vertical.
Yep.
And if you're not going to be able to have a 7'5" wingspan and block a whole bunch of shots, how are you going to do it? Well, you don't just wave the white flag and let people go by you to the rim. You get up, you go up straight, and you get as big as you can because you can alter a shot. His help defense has been great. His verticality has been great. He's been great in defending the pick and roll. Sabonis, even if people were like, I don't know if he can be an all-NBA guy, he's playing like one right now. There's no denying it.
Yeah, there's no denying it. And you just look at having a passing big on the team and all the things that it can create, not only with obviously creating this good offense with the ball moving around, but I truly believe it helps the ball touch everyone's hands. And when the ball touches everyone's hands, it's a different type of energy that goes through that basketball. All you ballers out there, whoever's, but you know how that is. When you work your ass off on the defensive end, but then you still get that touch on the offensive end, you create something else on the offensive end, even if you're not the one scoring the ball, shooting the ball, whatever it may be, but you did something else to accomplish something on the offensive end. He gives that to this team, to everybody on this squad. And opportunity is what he's giving by the ball going into him, even if he's the one initiating the offense, even if he's the one getting that pass at the high post. I just love what we are seeing from Domas. And again, another type of energy and mentality that is just contagious and bleeding into the rest of the team. And what is this?
His shot chart from tonight.
Wow.
He missed those 2 threes, but you notice something? Yeah, a lot around the rim, which is efficient. But Morgan, the mid-range. He had a turnaround jumper right here. He's shooting. It. This is what he has to do. I know he could be a force in the middle, but can he step out and shoot that with confidence? He's doing that more. He's shooting the 3 with more confidence in recent games. Doing that changes a lot for the Sacramento Kings. So Sabonis deserves a lot of love. There's going to be people talking about, especially on social media, that trade, the Halliburton-Sabonis trade for years and years and years.
People do that.
And that's just part of the fun, I guess, about talking about the NBA. But what Sabonis has meant for this team, I want to go back to what you were saying about Fox, how Fox dives on the floor for a loose ball. Domantas Sabonis plays hard 100% of the time.
Yep.
You do not see Sabonis give up on a play. And so when Fox is diving for a loose ball and Sabonis is constantly moving, getting a rebound, pushing and transitioning and finishing at the rim like he did tonight, or getting back on defense, or coming out to throw a double to get the ball to Luka's hands and then recovering to make sure he's in help to get back on Lively, then everybody on that team's going to go, dude, those guys are doing it. Those are
gonna
our
follow.
rocks. Then we're going to do that shit. And so I can't say enough about those two guys to start the season. It's a long year. We're only 12 games into the season. I get all that. But the Kings are starting to build a track record now after what happened last year with this group winning 48 games and playing a certain style. This year, you're starting to see it more. It's even more connected, and you're seeing improvement. I'm beyond. I'm what?
What?
Getting high on this team.
I
Morgan.
know you are.
I'm loving this
You
team.
want to know what else track record wise it's okay to get excited, because what we saw in the beginning of last year, we literally saw growth the entire season, all the way into the postseason, where you saw even more growth, especially when you talk about their defense and what they were able to do. So when you see that track record of how they just got better and kept growing, what would make you not believe that they're going to do that same thing from right now to the end of this season, right? And you could say, like, well, don't all teams end up getting better together? No, that is not true. Because last year, another thing that they did, they all kept playing together. They all kept staying on the floor through injuries, through whatever was going on, and they fought together. And I feel like even this year, without De'Aaron Fox, I'm glad that if it was going to happen, it was going to happen early on this season, because they had those two really shitty games against Houston, and their response after those games.
That's a great point.
It just has been something different. It was like then you had that shaky game against Portland. Then you had the next game and got a little better, and then it keeps getting better.
We need to give our player of the game out.
Oh, do we now?
Any guesses?
Well, I'm going to go with, it's either De'Aaron or Domas.
The fans voted in our YouTube feed. Shout out to everyone watching us live right now. You guys are awesome. You guys are talking about my suit a lot. And no, it's not black. It's green. Like I'm getting.
Why are you mad at the lighting?
Because this suit is great. I look great. Show me some respect tonight, okay? My suit game is at a Fox Sabonis playing level.
Oh, no.
now.
Watch out. Whenever you do this, I never understand I think he's doing a catwalk.
Oh, hey, what's up, guys? What's up?
Deuce, it's the same lighting, and in fact, it's a little bit more blurred out even back there. It does not even, no. Uncomfortable.
God,
uncomfortable.
He is hot.
Okay. Show off that watch.
Damn.
And
All right. Who's your player of the game? The fans
I
voted.
said Domas.
62% of the people say Domas Sabonis. Let's see who our rock and soul player of the game is. Domantas Sabonis.
Hey, let's see. Stats are looking good.
32 points, 13 rebounds, 6 dimes, 13 of 15 shooting. He did it in just 34 minutes.
Wow.
It's presented by our friends over at Rock and Soul. You need to go to Rock and Soul Diner. It's an awesome place. It's 6 blocks from Golden One Center. We went there for breakfast. Oh, so good. The best part, you get breakfast all day.
Breakfast all day. And just remember, while the Kings are on the road right
Yeah.
now, if you go watch a game there, you can get 50% off drinks, 50% off apps during the game. And then when they are back, there will be more home deals, especially if you have tickets to the game.
Ooh, so go to Rock and Soul in Sacramento at 10th and S, just 6 blocks from Golden One Center. Support local. They support us. You should support them too, huh?
They're amazing.
Yeah. In the chat, someone's
What?
saying I look like Paul Bearer. It's not black. And you know what? You guys should have been paying attention to pre and post game tonight because I was wearing this.
Yeah. Where were you?
Yeah.
Not watching NBC Sports
Scumbags.
California? You're not scumbags, though. My God. And I change out of my crap really, really quickly. Really quickly. All the time.
I'm trying to think of where I wanted to go
I
next.
know where I wanted to go because you mentioned Domas, Rock and Soul player of the game. You said all in 34 minutes. I want to rewind back.
That's what I wanted to go to.
Hey, really?
Yes.
Oh my, hey.
Good job.
I like that.
So the Kings play tomorrow against
do?
the New Orleans Pelicans. I really wanted them to be in a position where they didn't have to play their guys big time minutes. When Keon Ellis had to exit, and then Davion Mitchell ended up coming in. De'Aaron Fox did not have to go back into the game. De'Aaron played 31 minutes and 14 seconds tonight. Chris Duarte played 32 minutes. Keegan played 32. HB played just under 34. And Sabonis played 34. I'm glad they didn't have to play crazy high minutes, especially because they kind of did last game. They got a game tomorrow. That was good to see. They took care of business and allowed their bench to get some minutes.
Yep. And their bench came in and took care of business as well. I think without Kevin Huerter in that starting lineup, something we haven't talked much about either, but it's you just expect this team to have that next man up mentality. You don't know what it's really going to do with the flow or the rotation. You know that Alex Len is also out 6 to 8 weeks with his ankle sprain. So we knew JaVale McGee was going to come in. JaVale McGee finished with only 9 minutes, but the rest of the bench is what I want to talk about. Was Keon Ellis coming in for his 9 minutes. It didn't seem like he had the same type of flow that we'd seen in these other games, but then he tweaked his ankle. He goes out, so Davion Mitchell is the next man up to come in after De'Aaron Fox, and Davion Mitchell came in for 9 minutes as well. You know, he doesn't have the greatest stat line if you look at what he did in 9 minutes, but it's not that. It's what he did as soon as he came into the game. Kyrie Irving has the basketball, trying to work on Davion. What does Davion do? Locks him the F down. Contests his shot, just does a fantastic job, and the Kings get the defensive rebound.
You mentioned the defense. The final tally for Kyrie and Luka tonight. Kyrie finished with 23 points. He only had 4 points in the second half. 4 points in the second half. He was 8 of 17, 2 of 6 from 3. He had 2 rebounds and 1 assist.
Why do you look at me like that?
I just, the Kings did a great job. I thought,
It was such a petty smirk.
It's scary when you throw a second guy at some of these players, but they weren't too aggressive with it. The Kings were smart enough defensively, I thought, to at least throw someone out there, but not just like try to trap necessarily. Sometimes they did, and it forced them. It just forced the ball out of their hands and then get it to somebody else. So Kyrie finished with 23. Luka had 25, but he was on 7 of 19 shooting, 3 of 7 from 3, 8 of 10 from the free throw line. He had 10 rebounds, 7 assists in this game to go along with 2 turnovers.
Yeah, I think we watched Luka last night against the Milwaukee Bucks, and there's times he's absolutely just like jaw-dropping incredible. And when I say that, it's not because of his athletic ability or his defense. It's truly what he's capable of doing on that offensive end, whether it's finding the open man, sideline out of bounds, just over the head pass to the other corner.
He did one where he was double tonight and somehow got it to the corner for a 3-point attempt.
It's incredible. His vision, he's precise. It's amazing what he can do when it comes to his passing. And then sometimes when it comes to his step back 3, I think tonight he only finished 3 for 7, but when that shit gets on fire, it becomes deflating. It becomes scary. And you didn't see him go off. It seemed like he was a little bit more tired because of that back-to-back. But also, the other thing that we noticed from the Dallas Mavericks last night against the Bucks was that whenever he was running back, not on a back-to-back, not even on a back-to-back, he was running back slow on the defensive end and would just be like, pick up my guy. Hey, could you guys pick up my, cool, who's got my guy? And then would just like slowly rotate over. And you see that type of effort from him at times. And what I love is that the Kings were like, well, we know what you're about. And it is a second night of a back-to-back. So we're going to do everything we can to slow you down. And I just thought the Kings executed that in a lot of different ways.
Well, and he's so good at drawing fouls. This Mavericks team's really good at drawing fouls. They shot in the first quarter, they shot 12 free throws. They finished with 26 in the game. Luka is so good. He's a foul baiter.
He's so good at that.
He's great at it. Some would call him masturbator. Like, he is so good at getting those fouls. What?
That was so 2010 joke. I remember
the joke. There's no joke. He's good at drawing contact. He's great at baiting. He's a masturbator. He's so good at it. I almost said that on TV tonight.
No, did you really?
No.
I'd be like, no.
Could you imagine?
Dump button. Is there a dump button on TV? Is that how it works? No. No, I can't imagine. I'm really glad that
I thought it was funny.
Okay, here's what I'll tell you. It's lightweight funny, sure, whatever, old joke. But it's true. It's absolutely true. It's something that he is very good at on the floor. And it's just like things when you get frustrated with a Chris Paul for being able to exaggerate and sell a foul. Like, it's a veteran thing. It's just something that
We
Chris
can
Paul's
call it
good.
what it is, okay?
What is it?
It's tough to watch. I mean, it seems like every time we watch a Kings-Mavs game, we're talking about Luka after going, "God, this guy sure complains a lot." And it's constant. And I knew tonight, I said it pregame with Morgan. I said, this game is about the Kings sticking to the game plan of pushing. Even when you're tired, push, because they don't have it. And you saw their gas tank in late third quarter, all of a sudden they couldn't make a shot. I mean, I forget how many straight shots they made. I think Draper said once on the broadcast, it was like, hey, missed 9 straight. They couldn't get anything going, and the Kings every time were pushing.
Yep.
And you know how exhausting that is. And then second chance opportunities, the Kings were getting second chance. Even if they were missing shots, it's so deflating in a situation where you're trying to play defense and the team gets a rebound. You're already tired. You're thinking about, God, I played last night too. You're looking at the clock. You're looking at the score. The Kings just had to stay focused and push the pace against him. And to be honest, that's, I think, going to work against a lot of teams for the Kings. They have to have that focus.
Yeah.
You know, it's not all teams. There's some teams that, you know, like OKC is pretty, you know, they're young, they're athletic, they can get up and down the floor.
Yep.
There's certain teams, but like a team like Dallas, I'm like, you could tell me that they're pushing the pace more. And the numbers back it up. I think they were top 3 in pace headed into this game. But I can tell you, I watch enough to know Luka doesn't want to run. And you know what he doesn't want to do? Run back on defense. It's one thing to push the pace offensively. You're having fun. You're getting back up the court fast, maybe getting the ball back, hitting the 3, getting some early offense. Defensively, that takes a different level of conditioning and desire. The Mavs don't want that. That's why the Kings are a better team. It's not even close. The Kings are a far better team than the Mavs. The Mavs have come out of the gates knocking down threes well. They don't defend anybody, and they've got 2 elite individual players.
Elite.
They'll win games because of it, but they're not good.
And another guy I want to talk about that did a good job, I thought, defensively on Luka was Harrison Barnes. I thought he did a good job of just being active, really try again.
They started Keegan on him, but Keegan picked up a couple of quick fouls.
Correct, because Luka is a masturbator and he knew how to.
You have to like put a space in between. It's like a master baiter.
It's kind of it's funnier when you just like say it like he's a masturbator and
now you're stealing my joke that you said wasn't very
because
good. Because
I'm landing it. I am landing it with the way that I am putting it out there. Anyway, he did a great job of trying to draw fouls on Keegan. They put Harrison Barnes on him. Harrison Barnes finished the night 12 points, 6 assists, 4 rebounds, only 1 foul. He had 1 steal, and that 1 steal came closer to the end when you saw that Luka and the rest of that starting unit were feeling it. They were feeling tired, and Harrison Barnes had active hands on Luka, and it was like, all right, this is the beginning of the end. And that is what I love about Harrison Barnes is that he just kept at it. He kept being annoying with it, and he kept making sure that he was going to body him up and do what he needed to do.
You want to see the DPOG
I
tonight?
do.
Defensive player of the game. De'Aaron Fox gets the crown tonight. De'Aaron Fox gets the crown.
That's cute. That is cute.
He deserves it, man. The guy has brought it defensively this year. I
Yep.
love how he is bringing it every single night. It's something that I think a lot of people felt like he could have been coming out of Kentucky, and now he's reaching his full potential because it's not just about speed and being athletic and long. It's about having the want. And what he's doing, what makes it even more special, Morgan, is that he's still able to do what he's doing offensively with the pace, with the scoring, with the attacking. That takes a different level of conditioning and firepower.
Completely.
I'm amped up tonight. Can you tell I'm amped up tonight?
Oh, dude, I could tell, like, when we were watching the game in an empty Golden One Center, because we were at Golden One Center one more time before we go to the NBC studios in San Francisco, and Golden One Center, empty, Deuce screaming at the TV. I mean, it didn't matter if it was a Kings player messing up or if it was a Mavs player getting a bucket, whatever it was. He was just, like, amped, and then going to the post game, I was like, are you cool? Are you good? He was good.
That was good.
You toned it. You kept it at a good, energetic level, and I appreciated it. You know, nobody got fired tonight. It was great.
Yes, that was a good thing. So shout out to De'Aaron Fox, who won the Defensive Player of the Game crown, of course. Our friends over at Sharif Jewelers made that crown. By the way, Sharif Jewelers let me borrow this watch for TV tonight.
Oh.
Let me just say, I usually wear an Apple Watch. I'm not usually sporting an Omega watch.
And
rose gold.
As we talk about this, we should also get to our moment of the game. And as we continue this conversation, because Deuce, Apple Watch dude, right?
Yeah.
That's fine. Apple Watches are cool too. But really, when you're about to rock an entire suit and be on TV, you should probably dress up a little bit more. And for Deuce, he's wearing a beautiful Omega watch. And I'll just say this. I've seen De'Aaron wear an Omega watch. So that's MVP caliber shit right there.
So cool.
That you are so cool. And then let me just say really quick for me, I was rocking some emeralds tonight from Sharif Jewelers, and emeralds represent royalty. So I was like bringing all that royalty Kings love in, I was, finding the little cute touches, but anyway, we wanted to start making our moments of the game, a Sharif Jewelers moment of the game.
So here's a question for the chat. What do you think the moment of the game is tonight? Kings won 129-113 at Dallas. What's the moment of the game? Do you have any candidates you'd like to throw out there?
Let's see. Okay, there's that. I forget who it was on, but De'Aaron had that and one, and he screamed. And I'm just saying this. You don't have to make this the moment of the game. It was early, and he just screamed, and it was just this moment where he was just like, "I'm effing nice." Like I had that confidence beaming from him. I mean, our first show, but it doesn't have to be about us. But our first show of the NBC King season year.
Todd says Fox's 3?
Ooh,
that's a good one.
Fox's 3s.
Okay. Light says the impact of Fox's speed and control of the pace is underappreciated. There's a reason why the Kings have the highest rate offense in NBA history with Fox in the lineup. He's beyond a great individual. That's you just throwing that out there. Other moments, Fox. Yep. Okay. JaVale McGee getting into it. Fox's 6 threes. Keegan's dunk. Fox nailing a 3 after a Luka hit one. Yeah, that felt big, the way Fox answered that one.
Yes. I mean, Malik's 3s were big.
You know what? I think it is. De'Aaron Fox, 6 threes.
I like it.
And you know what else we're going to know under it?
What are you going to know?
Because, we want to remember these things.
That you were wearing the same type of watch that De'Aaron Fox has?
No.
Oh, what?
That he is, at this moment, shooting 41% from 3.
Damn. Don't forget it.
41%.
Don't forget it.
We'll see what it is later in the year. And then we'll also note Deuce and Mo pre and post.
I like it. Thank you.
I'm just going to also note this. Last year, I did a Kings-Mavs game pre and post. That was the Kings overtime win when De'Aaron Fox went off in the fourth quarter in overtime. The Kings won.
First game ever with Kyrie and Luka.
Yeah.
First game ever. And everyone was so excited about Kyrie and Luka. Everyone was just like, oh my God, what are they going to do? They're going to be amazing together. This is going to be so special. And then the Kings said, shut the F up.
That's what they said.
Kind of.
That's sure what they said.
In overtime, baby. It was fun.
So the Kings win 129-113, our moment of the game. De'Aaron Fox with 6 3-pointers in the game. Just amazing. I'm trying to think if there's anyone else we missed that we should really hit on. The JaVale McGee thing I know you brought up earlier. Dude, I know like nothing else happened after that between those two.
Yeah.
Or when McGee was out there, because McGee pretty much, I believe he only played in the first
9
half.
minutes.
Yeah.
Oh.
He never came back. Oh, no, he did come back in in the fourth quarter. So McGee goes to block Hardaway and kind of falls down.
Okay.
Not on the Hardaway, but near Hardaway.
Yeah.
Hardaway kind of closed
Reaches
fist,
over.
pushes himself up and like gets up fast, like all pumped up. And JaVale McGee did not hesitate. That guy got up and was like in his face, like saying, don't do that shit.
Yeah.
Okay, those two were teammates last year.
Correct. Doesn't mean that
There's
they liked
some
each
bad
other.
blood, huh?
Yeah, either that or it was just like,
Wow.
like a little thing happened. Whatever it was, all like Deuce and I mentioned this, I think at halftime or maybe it was post game. We talked about how we're just glad that JaVale McGee got up and did something about it. And when I say did something, doing something about it doesn't necessarily mean you punch someone in the face
Or choke someone out and drag them across the court.
That was going to be my next
or
one.
Or stomp on someone's chest.
That was going to be my next. Wow, all 3 of those things Draymond has done. So yeah, all those things. It doesn't
I
mean
didn't even realize that. I wasn't going there.
You weren't going?
No, it's
That's
funny.
so
I wasn't.
weird.
I was just bringing up like
Yeah.
weird things people would would do that would not be cool at all. It'd be like, why would you even be playing?
Like you wouldn't do that on a basketball floor. You wouldn't do that like in the streets because you'd go to jail.
You get arrested.
Okay.
They'd be like, you're arrested. You can't punch them in the face,
So
stomp on someone's chest, or put someone in the chokehold and like drag them for 6 feet.
Hey, Rudy Gobert was drinking clay.
Okay, sorry. I got distracted.
Anyway, so anyway, though, what I love about it is like it's the same thing that we've seen in some of these in-season tournament games when you see Desmond Bane and like get up in AD's face, even though he's like here to here, right? Like you get up in someone's face, you do something about it, and or you make sure you make a scene about it and say, that shit isn't gonna fly. And that's what JaVale McGee did by getting up quick, going after Tim Hardaway Jr. That ended up being a double tech. Love it, great. Didn't want to see anything more. Didn't want to see anyone like get thrown out.
No, but stand up for yourself and like
that's, don't get punked.
It's a good point because it goes back to that Houston game, that first Houston game we had talked about where
Chris Duarte.
Yeah, Dylan Brooks pulls Duarte down by the shoulder and his knee kind of went to Duarte's back. And Duarte just kind of looked at the official like, well, why didn't you call anything? And then no one from the Kings did anything.
Nothing.
I'm like, well, you guys just got punked in Houston twice in a row. Like what? Someone's got to do something, right? And tonight, JaVale McGee made a point like, hey, don't do that shit. Don't do that shit. He got technical because of it. So Hardaway, and they played on.
Loved it. Don't get punked. I'm trying to think if there's anything else that really stood out to me. I mentioned Harrison Barnes, his game, Chris Duarte in the starting lineup.
Yeah, Duarte. You think a game like this can do something for his confidence?
I mean,
just slowing down and just kind of playing your game.
I think what we're starting to see with Chris Duarte is that he has a lot of growing to do. It's there. Like there is something there with him with his defensive ability. I think he is a high IQ player from that stance of just like knowing where he needs to be on the floor and everything. He can, when he knocks down his threes, you go, this is like both those things, him being able to play hard on the defensive end and knock down the threes. You're like, yes, that's when it really comes together. But it's exactly that, Deuce. It's how can Mike Brown, this coaching staff, and maybe playing on this team with good basketball players, make him a better basketball player. We saw that from Terrence Davis last year after the season, talk about how he became a better basketball player. And we saw that with our own eyes. Can that happen to Chris Duarte too as the season goes?
And who knows how long Huerter is going to be out. Mike Brown said before the game that sprained left finger should not keep him out long, but it obviously bugged him late in that game against San Antonio. That was the last game against San Antonio, right?
Yeah, good job.
So, yeah, he may have to start again coming up tomorrow night. I assume he's going to start tomorrow night.
You know what? Someone just made that. I think Adam said it. He goes, I mean, he is 26, and that's a great point. You know, it's like.
But he didn't play last year.
No,
like, he was out most of the year.
that too.
And this is his third year. His year 2 was pretty much in and out due to injury, and he was pretty good this first year. So.
He's a lot of learning to do, I think, and he's got to learn by having those NBA minutes in these moments and these experiences.
Yeah, I just think there are times he rushes a little bit, and it's just slow it down. I feel like tonight he slowed it down a little bit.
Agreed.
Let the offense kind of come to him a little more. He did a great job on the glass, and I thought they put him in a tough situation trying to defend Kyrie. Also we should note Keegan. I know we talked about him at the start, but I thought even when he picked out a couple of fouls, I thought he did a great job defending Luka.
Yeah, and staying with it.
Last year, he was not defending Luka. In fact, I believe last year, I went back to that overtime game in Sacramento against Dallas, and I want to say they put him, let me look at their roster. I think they put him on Josh Green.
Oh.
He was not really like much of an offensive threat.
Yeah,
and
but also Keegan.
Talk about the jump, you know what I mean?
I mean, the jump is play one-on-one against De'Aaron Fox all summer long, and you too can become a really good NBA defender. That's the moral of the story. Moral of the story.
I'm looking at the comments to see if anyone else had some good moments of the game. People giving Duarte some love.
Moment of the game.
Yeah, we said it. We definitely said it. I'm trying to see if there's anyone else. We should also mention that tonight's podcast presented by our friends over at Northwest Exteriors and northwestexteriors.com. If you're looking for new windows on your house, this is the time to do it. It's starting to get cold outside. Get rid of those stupid single pane windows
Yeah, what are you
and
doing?
get upgraded. The people at Northwest Exteriors are the right people to do the job. They don't subcontract to somewhere in LA or whatever. Everyone's in house. They've all been there for a long time. They're great people, big Kings fans. They'll come to your house, make sure you get the right windows.
Yep, they're the right people to go to. Just make sure that you hit them up for a free quote, because let me tell you, it's one of those things where you go, oh my gosh, can I even afford this? Is this something that we need? Just get the quote. Talk to somebody. They're so knowledgeable on all of this. Make sure you hit them up.
Why should they? Because simply the best. Trust Northwest. Appreciate that. So one other thing we never promote, we should promote more. Check out our website, deuceandmo.com. Click on merch. We got so much merch out there. You guys should get it ASAP.
Oh, yeah.
Especially with the holidays coming up. You don't want it delayed. You want it there in time for the holidays. Go to deuceandmo.com. Click on merch. And we may be dropping some new stuff, maybe.
Maybe some holiday stuff.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Good to know. Good to know. Check it out, deuceandmo.com. Daniel has this for moment of the game.
What?
The Kings literally making the Mavs asses quit. Dallas taking Luka and Kyrie out with 6 minutes left because they were getting run off their home court. That was special stuff.
Well, like I thought, I mean, getting run off their home court, sure. It was also, I keep going back to the second night of the back-to-back. I try to factor that in, even though if it was the Kings, I'd be like, I don't care. It's a second night of back-to-back. You got to fight through. Every team has a second night of a back-to-back, blah, blah, blah. But yeah, the Kings just really stepped the pedal to the metal and kept going at them. And I loved when they waved the white flag, because then I felt like, oh, good. We got this one.
Yeah, we were watching the game, and Morgan's like, it's not over yet. I'm like, yeah, but if they can just get to, like, I don't know, the 4 minute mark,
Yeah.
whatever, they can do it. And
You
Kid,
said it.
what was the official time when he pulled them? I'm looking here. Starters at 5:28. It was 122-101, 5:28, and Kid pulled the starters. So that was great.
Yeah.
It was great. It was one of my, I think it was the best one of the season, one of my favorite games of the year, because it was just complete. It was a team win. Duarte stepped up. Fox, Sabonis, Keegan had some moments. HB had some nice moments. So
Well, now-
I appreciate it.
Now a back-to-back for the Kings.
I don't understand
Oh.
who the Pelicans are. The
Oh,
Kings are
I-
playing the Pelicans coming up next.
Okay.
Sacramento is 8-4 now after the win. The Pelicans are in the Western Conference right now, sitting at 6-7.
Okay.
They're coming off a loss the other night to Minnesota in a game where Zion did not play. I believe he missed it due to a personal issue. But Zion's missed a few games. Ingram's missed a few games. CJ's out with a punctured lung or whatever.
Yeah.
I don't really know. I mean, even Herb Jones has missed time this year, or Trey Murphy's out. Like they've had a lot of injuries. Alvarado, like
Yeah.
it just doesn't. It's so hard to figure out kind of who this team is and what to expect coming tomorrow night. It is a back-to-back. Sacramento has to like be locked in and push the pace still. I mean, Ingram's averaging 23 points a game still. He can still get numbers. Yeah, I mean, the West is stacked and they have weapons. So I'm not going to act like it's going to be like some easy night for Sacramento, even though the Pelicans are 6-7.
And what? And then they get a one night in between, and then they play the Pelicans again on Wednesday, the 22nd. Yeah, it's I think when I look at it's one of those situations where when you're playing a team back to back like this, set the tone. What do you want it? What do you want your identity to be? Right? Don't play to their level. Don't play their type of game. And their type of game, I mean, they can fight. You're looking at the box score right now of their game last night against the Minnesota Timberwolves, and they only lost by 1 point. It was a competitive game for them. Yes.
And Minnesota had a really good fourth quarter to end up getting the win. They had a rally on that. But Ingram had 30 in the game. Valanciunas, Sabonis' buddy, 26 points, 11 rebounds. You know who's been actually having some nice moments for them is Jordan Hawkins from UConn. Dude, he's kind of come in and he's showing something like, okay, he can knock it down from three. Yeah, I mean, it's tough on a back-to-back. I get all that, but it's not like it's some long flight. Get to sleep, win the game. And the good news, if I'm Mike Brown, this is what I told Morgan post-game. If I'm Mike Brown is, hey, guys, we win this game. we don't have to get on a plane. We get to stay in New Orleans and play Wednesday.
Yep. And I think some people, when they think that, they go, oh, what are guys going to get into? What is everyone going to do in New Orleans? I mean, I'm like, don't be naive to it. I'm sure there's people around the league and maybe even on this team that like to have fun. But either way, if you get your shit done, if you get your job done, I don't care what you do. You know, if it's never a problem, and especially if you're going to sleep in that same bed 2 nights in a row or whatever it is in New Orleans, great. Then just get the dubs.
And that's my whole thing. Come out and push the pace. We got it. Mike Brown giving the DPOG crown to De'Aaron Fox tonight. You want to watch it?
Yeah.
We have not seen this yet. Figured we'd watch it together.
I'm telling you, we really do. We got enough in this room. And every time you guys step on the floor, I hope you guys see that it can happen. Because believing, knowing it can happen takes precedence over anything else. It was a beautiful, beautiful display of basketball in terms of keeping the game simple. Jordy, what you got?
Great job. CD, you were with 8 defensive rebounds. Great job. Domas with 10 defensive rebounds. DPOG with 5 deflections, 3 steals, great physicality. Foxy!
Good stuff for De'Aaron Fox. He wins Defensive Player of the Game. Yeah. Sometimes I wish I could just hear the full. Wouldn't you, as like a fan, pay like to see the full raw coach's interview after the game?
If they had a Patreon.
Because you saw that you heard him cut right there.
If they had a Patreon and they said, hey, you could pay $100 a year, how much would you pay a month for that?
I don't know how much I'd pay a month.
Hey.
I would pay some money for it.
I would pay up to $50 a month.
A month? No.
You know how many games there are?
$5 a month. No. God, you're insane. $50 a month?
Well, I really like
That's
it.
garbage.
I like it. I love.
But
because you
what he
wouldn't get
called
it. It's
anyway,
exclusive.
What Mike Brown called it was just a beautiful display of basketball tonight. He loved what he saw.
He said simplified, right? Like the game was simplified. They made it simple for themselves. And I would pay $50 to hear the rest of it.
You're so annoying.
And I do.
You would pay $50 a month.
I'm like the cheap one.
absurd.
I'm the cheap one on this podcast, and I am saying that. Why is that bad that I just want to hear what I want to be a fly on the wall, Deuce? I want to be a fly on the wall, and I have to pay $50 to be a fly on the wall? Sure.
Can we bounce around the NBA in our favorite thing we like to do every once in a while on the podcast? And it's look at games we didn't watch because we were working on a broadcast of Kings and whoever they played tonight. The Dallas Mavericks. Took me a second. The Sixers hammer the Nets 121-99 in a game earlier today. 32 points, 12 rebounds, 9 assists for Joel Embiid. How about Tyrese Maxey with 25 points and 10 assists? The Sixers are now 10-3 on the season. Brooklyn has fallen below 500.
The number one duo in the NBA.
Detroit loses 142-113 to the Raptors. Orlando was up huge in this game against the Pacers. In fact, I'm trying to think what their biggest lead was. Let's see, a biggest lead. They led by as many as 40 points, ended up playing the bench late. Pacers cut the gap to a final score of 128-116. It looks like, they played their bench. The Magic played their bench in the second half. Tyrese Halliburton in the game had 12 points, 3 assists, and I just want to double check I had the stats right. And 4 turnovers.
25 minutes.
12 points, 3 assists, 4 turnovers. Buddy Hield with 3 points in 15 minutes in the loss for the Pacers, who are now 7-5. That team does not defend. They're not good enough. Denver loses to Cleveland tonight, 121-109. Denver's all of a sudden 9-4, struggling a bit since Jamal Murray went down.
Yeah, I mean, it's a big piece to go down for them, especially with what type of weapon he is offensively. It's like then their team. I mean, sometimes it's wrong just to be like, hey, look, their team is just Jokic because Michael Porter Jr. can have nights like this. He finished with 21 points, and Gordon can also have a big night, but he only finished with 11.
I think part of the problem too is their depth is just so different this year in Denver, right? Like they had some vets. Bruce Brown was so big for them. Jeff Green had some nice moments, and now they're leaning on some young guys who are trying to get more comfortable in expanded roles, which can be tough. So Cleveland got the win. They're now 7-6. Boston, Marcus Smart Against his former team, of course, he is out, did not play in the game. Boston hangs out on the win 102-100.
Whoa.
Memphis is now 3-10. Wow.
How did that get so close?
We'll never know. We didn't watch the game. 30 points for Desmond Bane. Porzingis at 26 points. Tatum with 20 on 7 of 13. Brown just 12 points in 34 minutes of action. In double overtime, how about this game? Phoenix escapes with a win against the Utah Jazz, 140-137 in double OT. Markkanen, what a monster game. He had 38 points, 17 rebounds, but it was just 2 of 10 from 3.
Ooh.
I like Markkanen. You ever picture him just like close your eyes and go, man,
No,
he
already.
looked good with the Kings.
Oh.
What did you think I was going to say?
I don't know. I don't know why my mind went like, why is Deuce going? Do you ever close your eyes and just go, man, picture Lauri Markkanen? No.
I do wonder what they're going to do. Utah's now 4-9. Like, do you think they'll shop Lauri Markkanen? Like, that's what I'm curious about.
Well, weren't we a little curious last year too when we were like, hey, what's Utah going to be? And then they started off the season strong and then it started going away slowly. This year, I don't know what they're really about, but yes, I think a lot of teams have a lot more to offer than the Kings do unless the Kings wanted to break a lot of shit up.
Yeah. I'm not going to go there.
So,
yet.
yes, I do close my eyes and think about that.
Bradley Beal's still out. He's going to be out for a minute. I think reevaluated in 3 weeks, dude. Like, that's not good at all for the Suns. Devin Booker at 26 points, 8 assists, 5 rebounds. KD with 39, 10 assists, 8 rebounds, 14 of 27 shooting in the win for the Suns. OKC. I went to the OKC Warriors game last week.
Yeah, you did.
Friend was in town, so I was like, I'm going to go to the game. And then he came out back to Sacramento.
He went by himself.
So I went to an NBA game and sat by myself. Well, my dear friend Kendra came by too for a little bit. But can I just say, I don't get to go to NBA games. Every time I go to an NBA game, it's for work, right? I'm doing something. I'm doing broadcast. And by the way, that's not me complaining. It's just you're in a different mindset, right? You're like locked into taking notes and rotations and all right, what are we talking about at halftime? What are we doing at this? Your mind's everywhere. I got a night chat tonight. Got to update this graphic, whatever. I went to the, Warriors Thunder game earlier this week. Mm-hmm. Dude, it was so fun just to sit in the stands and watch a game and also not have a rooting interest.
Yeah.
Although, like, I was leaning back in my seat when Isaiah Joe hit 7 of 7 from 3 and beat the Warriors. I was like, ooh. Last night.
Oh, yes.
We need to talk about this. So last night, Warriors took on the Thunder again. I was watching that game. Chet was amazing. My favorite moment of the game was at the end. Andrew Wiggins finally bounced back from his shooting slump, hits a 3, and Bob Fitzgerald, the Warriors announcer, goes, for the win! And Wiggins hits it, and I go, there's 1.6 on the clock. You better hope they win. You said for the win. There's 1.6. A lot can happen. So what happened? Chet Holmgren gets open, hits a 3 to force overtime. And then SGA took over, handing the Warriors their 6th consecutive loss. My other favorite part was when Chet launched that 3 on the Warriors broadcast. Like,
oh, yeah.
I think his foot was on the line. Oh, we should take a look at that. It's like
first thing they say.
And so I'm watching the game going, oh no, was his foot on the line? Because I don't have the angle. But when an announcer says it, you like to trust that, all right, maybe, just maybe, they saw something we did not see. Yes. We're not there. That's why they're there. They show the replay. Chet must have been 7 feet behind the line. Like, he wasn't even close.
He was closer to the sideline being out of bounds than he was having a foot on the 3-point line. And it was like, well,
it was insane.
Yeah.
So Chet was incredible last night in that win against the Warriors. And the Warriors are messed. Steph came back in that game too. They've lost 6 in a row, and their record at home is terrible. But I could not get over the fact that they were like, his foot's on the line. And I'm like, okay, a couple of things. This is just, take away the fact that I do play-by-play too.
Yeah.
But I'm just speaking as a fan. Can we just celebrate the moment for a second?
That's-
Take a deep breath and be like, the officials, because they thought the officials were taking a look at it to see if his foot was on the line. No, the officials were seeing how much time was on the clock. It was a buzzer beater. So they went to go look to see what was happening, and then they'll probably make sure. But you saw right on the next replay, his foot wasn't even close. It's like, dude, Chet's got a monster game going. He's a rookie. He's
Celebrate
doing
the
some
game.
things. Like, oh, Chet ties it. Whatever you want to say.
Oh, this is the most deflating thing that could happen to the Golden State
Dude,
Warriors.
so annoying.
Oh, the refs are going to check it out to make sure. And it's good. Chet Holmgren with a big 3-pointer to finish the game and send them to overtime.
Petty Deuce is
Is that
here for a
kind
second.
of an okay call?
Not bad.
Thank you. I'm not a play-by-play person.
Petty Deuce is on the phone real fast.
Ring, ring. Yeah?
I don't think there's a broadcast I enjoy listening more when they're losing than the Warriors.
It's so good. I know.
It's
I can't admit that, but
Side note, a little bummed today. Today was also the first Stockton Kings home game. I do play-by-play for the Stockton Kings. Morgan's a color analyst. We both missed the game. So that was tough, but we do have a Stockton Kings game coming up on Tuesday. So we'll be back on the heads on the My Calling games for Stockton
We'll
again
always
this year.
be posting where that Stockton Kings game will be, so you can
Yes.
listen to us on the call and watch some Stockton Kings basketball.
Yeah.
Let's go.
So my whole point to bring OKC was like, oh, I went to a game earlier this week as a fan, and it was a lot of fun to just watch a game and enjoy it. And then I watched the OKC game last night, and then tonight they were taking on Portland.
Ooh.
Wow.
Ooh.
They beat Portland tonight. Jeez Louise. 134-91. Wow. Insane. In the game, SGA had 28 points on 10 of 13, Morgan,
Yeah.
in 22 minutes. He had 28 points in 22 minutes. Chet had 16 points, 6 rebounds, 2 blocks in 20 minutes, 6 of 6 shooting. So absolutely destroyed the Blazers tonight. Blazers are now 3-10. OKC, wow.
Chris Murray
10
got to
and 4.
play a lot in garbage time.
Yeah, he had 8 points on 2 of 4 shooting. But OKC, that one against OKC is looking even nicer by Sacramento.
Yeah.
Can I give you my official OKC stance?
I feel like you're going to, even if I said no, you can't.
Okay. Thank you.
Proceed.
Chet is going to be really good. I was high on Chet before the draft.
Breaking news.
SGA is a stud. We know this. I think they're a year away from making some real noise. I know some people want to kind of push him toward like, Western Conference contender status. I don't think they've got the depth right now, and I think they need more size. I think they need a little more size, but Presti's got a war chest of draft picks.
And I feel like this year of experience all together, with Chet healthy, with SGA healthy, with Josh Giddey out there, Jalen Williams, like you have guys out there that like just need to experience that together. It's the same thing that we talked about when the Kings actually made the playoffs and got the postseason experience together. Now you feel like they can like bounce off that and learn off that, where I feel like OKC is going to bounce off of just playing good basketball together and take another leap. But you're right. It might not be that type of leap.
They've got shooting. They've got ball handling. They've got versatility. I think they need some more size for sure. They could be a marketing candidate, to be honest. I mean, pick up the phone, Danny Ainge, and go, hey, we'll give you like...
Yeah, where do you go?
Jalen Williams and some picks and who knows what else. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
They're just a dangerous team because they have a lot of draft picks. So they won 134-91 in a close one in LA down the stretch. How crazy is this one? It's a 1-point game, 105-104. Lakers beating the Rockets tonight. Dylan Brooks missed a 3-pointer with 1.3 to go. He finished with 24 points in the game. Şengün had 23 points, 10 rebounds, 5 assists in the loss. LeBron with 37 tonight in 40 minutes. He also had 8 assists, 6 rebounds. 80 with 27 points, 10 rebounds before fouling out. And Austin Reeves dropped 17 off the bench.
Damn.
All of a sudden, by the way, the Rockets have lost how many in a row? They're now 6-5.
Hey.
So the Rockets have come down a bit here.
Coming back down to earth. Well,
So they've lost 2 in a row now.
okay.
And they have Golden State coming up
Look at all those wins
on Monday.
Wow.
Yeah. It's way too look of the NBA standings, Morgan. I understand it's too
Way
early.
too what?
Way too early of a look of the
Oh, way too
NBA
early.
standings. A lot can change. But Sacramento right now is currently 4th in the West.
Cool.
So
Yeah.
it goes Minnesota, who you see later this week, OKC, Denver, Sacramento, Dallas, and then the Lakers in the top 6.
Way too early, but would rather be there than down. So there you go.
Kings are good, guys. The Kings are good.
They are a good
But
team.
what will we be talking about tomorrow night? We will be live, by the way. I need to make this note.
Make it.
So I am not on pre and post tomorrow. And I know what you're thinking. What?
Boo.
After the showing tonight, you would think you'd be in the starting lineup. I mean, what happened? No, I am not going to be on Kings pre and post on TV tomorrow, but Morgan is hosting tomorrow. So that means she has to drive early tomorrow to San Francisco, where the studios are, to do the game, which is Kings-Pelicans. And instead of Morgan doing the game from this, or doing night chat from the studio, she'll drive back. So tomorrow's Monday night will be a late night chat. Late night chat.
When you say late like that,
Like 9:30.
Because what time's the game?
5.
Oh, it is a 5 o'clock game?
So end at 7:15-ish, 7:20. Let's say you get done with post game at 7:45. You got to drive 90 minutes, you know?
Yeah.
Like that's, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm going to.
9:30.
Yeah, I didn't say 9:30.
Yeah.
For night chat.
Yeah, I like that. I mean,
So.
yeah, at least it's not too late of a start, but 9:30 start tomorrow.
Comment of the night. Deuce goes from, I don't know who Mike Ross is. Anyway, he says, I kind of look like a drunk gambler with my tie undone.
Hey, everybody.
Yeah. Yes, Cap. The studio is in the Bay. Man. And Steven in the chat says, Mo is a superstar. Deuce is a serviceable role player.
Oh.
Okay.
Well, I disagree
Stephen
with that.
Brown. You know, Steven?
And he disagrees. It's Stephen
I'm not taking
Brown
your
that's
bait.
saying
You're
that.
my guy, Steven.
Yeah. Don't take it.
I know what you mean.
Don't
What
take
you're
it.
really saying is, God, man, Morgan is a star, but Deuce, so are you.
I would be so much better on pre and post if you were in the hosting role and I was in the analyst role. Oh my God, I would thrive. When I was with Mike Bibby the other day in that analyst role, I was thriving.
I cry about it. You get a host. Let's get to some super chats. We mentioned Blake, who donated $20. Shout out to Chris, who donated $5, saying you guys did great tonight. You should be proud of how far you've come as a brand. From a handful of subscribers to pre and post game for the Kings. Well, I'd like to say we're more than just a brand.
Thanks.
We're people.
But
Chris, thanks for the support. And honestly, it is definitely. I've said this before, and it sounds like we're being cheesy or trying to get a cheap pop from the crowd, our fans. I 100% mean this. Without this podcast and the support that we've received from all of you guys, we would not be on TV. They wouldn't even notice us. It's because of this podcast that Morgan is doing what she's doing and that I'm getting more opportunities. It's because you guys have backed us and showed that, like, hey, we dig them talking about the Kings, and it's gotten the attention of a lot of people, and it means a lot. Also, Brad donates $5 saying, hey, winning cures everything. Appreciate 4C Bar for gifting 5 subs. Jersey Devs donating $5. Morgan saying, y'all killed it on post game. Love seeing Golden One Center for road games, but Wednesday concert at the arena. Do you have to go to the studio? Yes, we do.
Yes.
Shout out to Muhammad for being a member for 14 straight months. Why does Luka flop like a fish? Also, Mr. Turtle, 17 months, saying the Kings always win with Deuce and Mo on the show. Shout out to Nico for $5 super chat and a $2 one. Appreciate all the love.
Oh, I love it.
Yes.
And we don't.
You seem distracted. What happened?
Sorry, because I just saw I got an email from, because we were talking about our community and everything, and I just saw, I hadn't read it, but we got an email from Clint's dad. Clint, long time Discord community, Deuce and Mo community member, and he just passed away last week. And I don't know if you would want me to read it or not, but I could if you want me to.
Sure.
But it's really kind. And again, you guys, it just goes to say what our community is like. It might actually be kind of hard to read.
Do you want me to read it? You're gonna have trouble?
No, I'm gonna do it. Okay.
Okay.
Clint's dad here. I can't express what your dedicating the podcast and moment of the game to Clint meant to me. Everything you've heard about losing a child is true. I just returned from dealing with the mortuary, and Sorry. I'm like trying to read it. And then I watched your podcast. Your sincerity regarding Clint and the extended community he was a part of is heartwarming. I'm an old hoopster and took Clint, age 4, to his first Kings game in 1987. Since then, the Kings have been a fundamental piece of our relationship. Thanks again to you and the Discord community. You are a great team, and your authenticity will continue to separate you from all the others. P.S. Oscar is doing well. Update for our Discord family. Oscar's doing well, and that is a very sweet message from Clint's dad. So again, it continues, you guys. Everything you guys have said over this last week or so has been really helpful in the healing process to Clint and his family, and even for us and our whole little Deuce and Mo family we have here. So thank you.
Well, shout out to Clint's dad and the family. And, you know, we talked about Clint last week, and we still are thinking about them as they heal from this. It's not easy. You know,
Yeah.
I lost my grandma last year, and it impacted me in such a major way. And I'm still dealing with that this time. I can't fathom what they're dealing with as a family with, you know, their child. So
Processing, expressing everything. So that's why, like, as things keep going, please proceed to process, express anything you guys need out there. Clint's family, Discord community, Deuce and Mo family. You guys ever need anything, you know where to reach out to. So
that's a good way to end it. We appreciate you guys so much for hanging with us. You know, we'll be live tomorrow night around 9:30 p.m. Pacific time after the Kings and the Pelicans. Thanks so much for being with us. Make sure to hit the thumbs up and subscribe. If you're on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, give us a 5-star review too. We love you guys, but we got to go.
you all have a wonderful rest of your night. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye.
Deuce and Mo, Deuce and Mo, Deuce and Mo. They tell you what they know. Deuce and Mo, Deuce and Mo, Deuce and Mo. The podcast that you know.